In today's video, we are going over M rear sets for a K67. Now, I've seen these rear sets on bikes before at the dealer, but when you really get to put them in your hand and check them out in person, they are beautiful. They're very nice pieces of art for sure. They are fully adjustable. If you look close on here, it's actually set at the, so I believe right at neutral, but there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's like 5 different settings for the peg. You can move it up or down. You can actually move this part forward or back, which is really good. And same for the brake setup. You have your adjustment on where the actual peg is, whether it's going up or down, and you can move the whole bracket forward or left or right, I should say. These things are just amazing. I got a really good price on it. So the grip on these pegs are very, very nice compared to the stock ones. The shift adjuster, this part's nice and hard, and it is adjustable. So depending on how big of a feet you have, you could adjust it to your length, which is nice because I always felt like I was always just reaching a little bit just to get to the lever. And now that I have these, I could adjust it out to make it fit perfect, which is awesome. The heel guards are carbon fiber, real carbon fiber, by the way. And they look very nice. So let's just show you a back shot of this. So as you can see, you have a lot of adjustability to move this left or right. And overall, the quality is very good. So BMW did not cheap out on these parts. However, it is expensive. So anybody that ends up getting the new M1000RR with these on them, they are going to love it. Yeah, so I'm definitely happy I made this purchase. I just really couldn't turn down the deal that I got on these. I'm gonna give a shout out to the person that actually gave me the link to these to get them pretty cheap. His name is Ruben Borne, and I will give the link down in the description below if you want to check out his page. He has some cool videos on the S1000RR and whatnot, so be sure to check that out. So thank you, bud, for giving me that. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have bought these unless I got that deal that you ended up finding for me, so I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And wow, these things are just beautiful. Like I said, the grip on the pegs it's very sharp, and it's super grippy, which is great. And like I said, the adjustability on this thing is, you have a very good amount of it, which is awesome. Only thing that I kind of wish that BMW did, I'm not sure if they have a piece, but so this whole bar right here, this is for if you have the stock exhaust or a shorty slip-on, or you know, if you have a full system with a shorty can, you know, you use this to put it on there. But since I have the long can that actually attaches to the passenger pegs, I'm hoping they may have a little part that would, you know, basically get rid of all this, so it kind of looks like this one, obviously with the brake lever on it, because I do not need to use that part. But either way, if they don't, okay, whatever, I'll deal with it. But hopefully BMW does, because to get rid of all that, that would be pretty sweet. So apparently I didn't look into the box good enough, because this little bag was in the bottom of it, and there is 2 bolts and a spacer. So the spacer is for if you want to get rid of that bracket that ends up holding the stock muffler or the shorty can. So I was wrong, that is in there. And those 2 little bolts, those are for if you don't want the pegs to fold up, you end up screwing them in there. Another thing is that the brake lever for your foot is adjustable too, so if you need to move it in some more, you can, which is nice. So that part should just go to the other hole, and then you got, you know, some good adjustability right there as well. All right, so I just put the heel guard on, and the heel guard is a lot bigger than the stock one for sure, which is nice. So something that you want to do when you first get these is you want to make sure that you set it to where you need it to be. You end up tightening that bolt pretty good. These you tighten as well, obviously. And also, so this nut right there, that is not a metal nut. And if you tighten it too much, it will break. So my recommendation is you put a little bit of medium blue thread locker on there, and then just tighten it by hand as much as you can. It's really, the peg isn't really going to go anywhere, because when you tighten the bolt on the other side, it's solid and it won't come off. So this is just, maybe it's, if you want to call it extra security, but literally, I don't know if you could pick that up. You can see where it's literally cracked right there when I was using the socket. So don't do that, all right? Everything else, just make sure you snug it up tight, you know, like that, and the little bolt over there. All right, so now we're just gonna weigh the left side rear set by itself to see how much it weighs, and then when I take it off the bike, I'll weigh the stock one to see how much it is. All right, so this thing is a little over a pound, so it's like almost 16.5 ounces is what I'm seeing. So 16.5 ounces for the left side and rear set. All right, so now we are going to weigh the stock left side rear set with the heel guard on it. All right, so this weighs right around 12.5. Yeah, it's like right at 12.5 ounces for the stock rear set. All right, so now we are going to weigh the stock shifter and the M shifter. We'll do the stock one first, see how much it is. All right, so that is basically 4.75 ounces. All right, stock one down. And we're gonna do the M shift lever. And this one is 5.75 ounce. All right, so now we are going to weigh the right side rear set with the brake. I ended up taking the bracket off, and it's pretty easy to do so. So if you look at this, you end up taking that bolt out, and there is also another bolt right there that you take out. And be careful, because it is attached to a spring, so this is going to move around a little bit. The bracket, just after you take those two bolts out, it pulls right out. You put this bolt back in here, and you could just leave the other bolt out because you do not need it. But when you're putting this back together, the spacer that comes in the bag goes right in between here and this part. You will see that it has the spacer has like a little lip towards the top of it, and that part has to go over there, and the flush part goes down here. All right, so let's weigh this and see how much it is. All right, so this thing weighs 1 pound, 6.25 ounces. Okay, so we'll see how much the stock one weighs now. So now we're gonna weigh the stock rear set on the right hand side. As you can see, it's got this thing in it, You know, you have your peg. Turn this around so show you that we are not missing any parts. We have the bracket, the 2 bolts, the spring, and I will put the heel guard on there as well. So let me put this in here first. All right, so there's that. And put the heel guard in there as well. Okay, so the stock rear set right side is 1 pound, 9.75 ounces. So to make this fair, obviously when I weighed the M rear set on the brake lever side, the right side, I didn't include that bracket or the carbon fiber piece, so we will weigh these as well, and then we'll add it to the total part. Carbon fiber. So we are right at 6 ounces. So we'll add that to the other part. All right, so I ended up writing down all the weights of everything, and the M rear set's total pounds is 3.16 pounds or 50.5 ounce. And the stock one is 2.69 pounds or 43 ounce. I didn't actually weigh the little adapter piece for the shorty can or the stock, but without that you're at a difference of basically 0.47 pounds, which is basically half a pound, I'm assuming, with that little part. So you save half a pound by sticking with the rear sets. So if you're trying to shed as much weight as possible, you might want to stick with the stock rear sets because you are saving half a pound. But the good part is with the M rear sets is that you get a ton of adjustability, much better quality, much better grip, but this is something to take into consideration.